Overnight, we have been following this all morning long. We learned that Pinal County Sheriff Paul Babeu is running for Congress again.
Sheriff Babeu joins us live. Thank you so much for being here. First and foremost,
thanks for having me.
We have to ask you, talk about the decision to run, what this means for you.
Well, I fully intended to run for re-election as sheriff next year, and then Ann Kirkpatrick decided to challenge John McCain for senator, and that threw everything into change mode. And I've been fighting the federal government for the past 7 years when it comes to fighting this unsecured border, illegal immigration. Heck, this past year we've arrested 19 cartel scouts on mountaintops in my county, and that shouldn't be the job of the local sheriff, but certainly the job of the federal government, and they failed to do it. And there's countless other issues I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, and you actually toured the border with Dr. Ben Carson back in August, Republican presidential candidate, of course. I worked in Tucson for several years, so I know the situation down there in southern Arizona. I think the question a lot of people have, though, when it comes to immigration and the borders, how do you get the federal government to not just look at the issue and tour the issue, but to take action on the issue?
Well, the thing we can't continue to do is send the same old politicians to Washington. And that's where I've sworn an oath, both as an Army officer and also as a sheriff, as a police officer, that I know what that commitment means and what's at stake here. We need to send a sheriff to Washington who has not only an understanding, has actually done something to fix it, right? And as an Army officer, I served as a commanding officer in Yuma, where we supported our heroes in the Border Patrol, 97% reduction in illegal entries and drug smuggling. I know how to fix it. The only way, with a new Congress, with a new president, I'm very hopeful that we're finally going to get this addressed.
Sheriff, for the viewers at home, I really want to bring it home for them and bridge a gap, because what we're talking about here is Congressional District 1. It's the 10th largest congressional district in the entire nation.
It is.
And when you talk about demographics, when you look at the illegal immigration situation, and when you talk about just geographically speaking, how are you going to bridge the gap from Pima County all the way up to Flagstaff?
It's huge. It's larger geographically than the state of New York.
Wow.
So my county, Pinal County, is nearly a third of this district. So we start out with a very good base. All the issues are very similar all across the district. Talk about agriculture, talk about mining and farming and dairies. And you're looking at people who are having a tough time in the economy. 94 million Americans are not in the workforce. This is the all-time high. And so, but at that time, we have the EPA, the federal government, coming in trying to shut down coal mines and power plants here in our state, which would raise the utility rates for each and every one of us. Many of us already struggling to be able to afford to pay those. That's the last thing we should be doing. We should be finding ways for the government to get out of people's lives, right? To create jobs, to create opportunities for all of us. And we're at a critical point for our country. And if we don't fix our country, the national debt, $18.5 trillion now, by facing the spending issue, not the revenue issue, that the future looks even worse than we fear.
And you guys have had some feelers out for the past year or so, seeing if you wanted to do this run again. What was it? What did you hear from people? What did you learn that made you say, yes, we are going to do this, we're going to move forward and run?
Quite frankly, I'm angry. The American people are angry, are fed up with broken promises from people in Washington. And we have to live in the effect and the impact. And I feel literally compelled as a citizen in our republic to do something about it. And I know that not just one member, people will know and hear as a member of Congress, not only that I'm there, that I will be focused to get the job done.
Sheriff, we have 30 seconds here. I have to ask you, you've been through this before.
Yes.
What did you learn when you went through the last race and you dropped out, now that you can learn and take in this one?
Very difficult time for me personally, politically, but I survived all those attacks. Any of the allegations were fully exonerated, but not till after the election, right? The people in my county passed judgment on me. And they reelected me with more votes than anybody who won for office, from president all the way down to local judge. And that's where I want to be judged, like every American, by their merit, their performance, by what they contribute to the community. And I stand on my record, and that's where I put faith in the people to decide.
Our Allison Rodriguez is going to conduct an interview with you right now, and we're going to have more on that. And I know that a lot of you at home are wondering about their own safety and security when you talk about crime, and so I'll be interested to hear what you as Sheriff have learned and what you can take to Washington on that. Sheriff Paul Babeu, good luck, and thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
Appreciate you both.
All right.